break down. I saw some people that had some tears, and she mentioned at the beginning that we will leave 2019 hardship in the past, and I think a lot of us did that today with her speaking. So let's give yourself a round of applause for 2019. And today we have a faculty member that is going to talk very important things for our Hostos student. He's the director of the Health and Wellness Center, and his name is Fabian Wonders. So give a round of applause for him.
Good afternoon, everyone. People hungry?
Yes.
I'm like the worst person to be up here right now because you guys want to go eat, right? So I'm just going to make this short and sweet. And we have health and wellness services at the college where we help students that are parents get the support they need. We help students that have any health-related questions. We have a nurse on campus that can help you. We work with students who have any domestic violence issues at home with themselves or their families. We have wellness programming where we do exercises, Zumba classes, salsa classes, mindful meditation, yoga, all this stuff to kind of de-stress you while you're on campus. And we also oversee the single stop program where if you're hungry, we have a food pantry on campus and they provide it for you. Very simply, just come downstairs, tell them that you're interested in food from the food pantry and we give you a bag of food. But we also have legal services and a bunch of other support. And I'm hoping that if anyone here needs it, you can always just come up to go downstairs and ask for it. We're all here to help you. Today I'm here because I'm part of what's called the Civility Committee. And the Civility Committee is a group of different faculty and staff members and administration. And we're looking at how can we create an environment, a civility on campus, right? And that may be, maybe holding the door for somebody, maybe just saying, good morning or good afternoon to someone, just to kind of have that nice positive culture on the campus. So we have put out an email, and I'm sure everyone here reads all the emails, right?
Yeah.
Probably not. We put out an email saying, look, if you're interested, we are having a contest asking students to write about a an act of civility that they've witnessed themselves at the college. And we had a lot of entries for the essay contest, and out of all the entries, we chose 3 winners. So today we wanted to acknowledge one of the winners for the civility essay contest and provide that student with a prize award for that essay that they wrote. So without further ado, I want to invite Kiara Cavares up to the front. And I want to thank student government for purchasing the tablets. Let's take a picture. You're all supposed to go, oh. Kindle 8, okay. That means read your emails because you might be able to read.
I strongly recommend
Do you want to say anything about your essay or what inspired you to write the essay or what just very briefly about it?
Well, of course. So a lot of us, I know that we all have like our own things going on in life. We're part-time students, we're full-time students. We have, partners, children, and all of that. And this particular essay that I wrote to you guys was an essay about this one particular student. I don't know him personally. I wish I could see him around campus. But we were in the financial aid office, and you know how that line can get really long. And there was this one student who was applying for financial aid, but she did not speak English. English was not her first language. And the financial aid office was having some trouble translating and getting suited up. So this particular student came from the line. He was almost ready to, be next, and he came from the line and helped that particular student out. And while he was going back towards the back of the line, the students, including myself, offered to put him in front because he was going to go back to the back of the line, and that line can get really ridiculous. So it was only not only in the part of the student was helping that particular student, but also the audience who was there, the other student was helping him as well. So I mean, it's very memorable, and again, I can honestly say I wish I could see that student so I can say good job today.
Good job. Go out there and pay attention to our surroundings. Sometimes put that phone down. Now my watch is vibrating, put the watch down. And really, you know, just look around. If you see someone is struggling with something or you overhear something, step in and help out. We appreciate it. We make that a nice, healthy community for everyone. All right? Thank you so much. Thank you.
I just want to let you know that Fabian is a wonderful person. He's very resourceful. He's very resourceful. So if you need anything, we always need help at Hostos. So I would like you to know that there is always help here. Like he said, he's also the director of DOVE. That's a domestic violence department that we have. That they help with all the adversities that you can have after being a victim. And which I also want to point out that we will having a workshop coming up. So just check your email, like you said, about domestic violence and how to overcome all this. So right now we're going to have a next speaker. He's the president of the SGA, the Student Government Association. He's ambassador for the Student Leadership Academy. He's a member of the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society, a great leader, a great friend. And he's going to talk about student life and student activities with all of you, Kelvin Pini.
I would like to invite Celis Hines, who is the Vice Chair for Community Colleges that represents her school in the University Student Senate, alongside myself representing Hostos. And she's going to speak about USS.
Hi everyone. I'm the Vice Chair of Community College for University Student Senate, which actually represents 500,000 students on both the federal, state, and city levels. I'm also from Kingsborough Community College. I'm the Vice President for Student Affairs. So in regards to USS, we advocate for all of the community colleges. I currently work with Hostos, one of the colleges I'm overseeing because I do community colleges. And also this year we're currently fighting for food insecurity, which is like something very important for colleges anywhere. And also on the side we're fighting for homeless students, because students need housing. And we're also fighting for feminine hygiene. After this, I'm going to be meeting with some legislators to see if we can have free feminine hygiene product in the girls' bathroom and also the gender bathroom, due to the fact that we already pay tuition and the condoms is free. Feminine free product really is free as well. And I invite everyone to come to our next preliminary meeting, which is on the 29th. You guys can come and have an idea what this is about. And you can speak to Calvin. It's pretty much a really, really nice organization, and it's a nice way to feel that you can make a difference. We're also fighting climate change, trying to see if we can find like a waste of energy, a way to move away from fossil fuel and make a difference, because the way that Australia is being on fire, we need to make a difference. But come by the USS office on 55th Street in Manhattan, or you can speak to Calvin, or you can call me, and I'm here.
Great. So I particularly find the topic of leadership development and emotional intelligence, but more importantly, self-development, very, very interesting. So that's what I'm going to be speaking about today. So today, power is gained by sharing knowledge, not hoarding it. With that being said, that's what I'm going to do today. And back in the days, it was a privilege to be educated to such a high degree that you were put into a ruling class and so forth. But with that being said, education is the key to prosperity, the key to perfecting. Well, there's no such thing as perfecting, right? Or perfection, but the honing and the refining of your own self. So, how to take care of your mental health and why is it important for leadership? So, self-care for mental health, compassion. Be kind to yourself, stop judging yourself, and practice positive self-talk. Self-care, rest, pay attention to your self-care battery, give yourself what you need. Deprivation is not healthy. Make time for yourself. Action, set boundaries with your triggers, work on coping skills, do the work, follow your treatment, plan, don't give up on yourself. And truth, notice how your choices, conscious or subconscious, contribute in a negative way. Look at what isn't working in your life and support. Go to therapy, reach out for help. Mental illness is an illness. Don't hide in shame, in silence, ask for what you need and create a strong support system and break the stigma. That's one of the things that I'm striving for the past 2 semesters is that mental health illness is a big stigma within the Black and Latino community. So if we can break down that wall and actually ask for help, even if that's just from ourselves, like what is it that we can do to help ourselves, whether that's talking to a friend, to a professional, to your parents, to your loved ones. 20 ways to look after your mental health. Exercise regularly, keep active, talk to friends, start a to-do list, listen to music, let people know how you feel, eat well, reach out when you are lonely, make time for yourself, get in a good sleeping pattern, challenge negative thinking, try some deep breathing, get involved in group activities, work on improving yourself, smile more, surround yourself with people who make you happy, be mindful, share things with friends and family, do something that makes you happy, practice progressive muscle relaxation. This isn't my personal self-care plan, but it's just a little example. So mental, physical, and emotional. For the mental aspect, read, learn, talk to friends, take your daily medications if you do take medication or your vitamins. Physical, get active, eat good healthy food, skincare. Emotional, hot baths, help others, do art, create. You can put whatever you want in these little bubbles. Self-care is not selfish or self-indulgent. We cannot nurture others from a dry well. We need to take care of our own needs first, then we can give from our surplus and our abundance. A person who is humble will never be abusive or selfish. So don't abuse yourself or withhold self-love or self-care. Your mind is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Thinking, reading, and studying will exercise your brain and make you smarter. I'm working on myself, for myself, by myself. And you have to train your mind to be stronger than your emotions or else you'll lose yourself every time. And all of these things combined, there's still more, but it's like a soup, right? You put different ingredients or whatever you like, right? Soup, lasagna. I love food, that's why I'm so big at this point. But yeah, all these combinations make you more an effective leader. But great leadership starts with self-leadership. You have to be able to lead yourself before you're able to lead the people around you. So what is self-discipline and why is it important for leadership? Respect your efforts, respect yourself. Self-respect leads to self-discipline. When you have both firmly under your belt, that's real power. Self-discipline begins with mastery of your thoughts. If you can't control what you think, you can't control what you do. Developing self-discipline. Self-discipline is about your ability to control your desires and impulses for long enough to stay focused on what needs to get done. Successfully achieve your goal. It's about taking small, consistent daily actions that help you form critical habits that support your objectives. And actionable ideas, just some examples. Get clear about what it is you want to accomplish. Evaluate what you want to accomplish or why you want to accomplish this goal. Eliminate all distractions. Prioritize your highest value tasks and activities. Keep track of your progress and keep yourself accountable. Self-discipline is the key ingredient to success, and self-discipline isn't just something that happens once and you're done. It's practice, consistent practice. What is emotional intelligence? It is the ability to recognize your own emotions. The qualities of an emotional intelligent person or emotionally intelligent person. So it's self-fulfillment means psychological needs and basic needs that this triangle is broken down into. But self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, including creative activities, esteem needs, prestige, and the feeling of accomplishment, belongingness and love needs, intimate relationships, friends, safety needs, security and safety, physiological needs, food, water, warmth, and rest. So the qualities of a low emotional intelligence person and a high emotional intelligence person. I'm going to read off the low emotional intelligence first. So aggressive, demanding, egotistical, bossy, confrontational, easily distracted, good, selfish, poor listener, impulsive, resistant to change, passive, unresponsive, slow, stubborn, critical, picky, fussy, hard to please, and a perfectionist. Now, high emotional intelligence traits. Assertive, ambitious, driving, strong-willed, decisive, warm, enthusiastic, sociable, charming, persuasive, patient, stable, predictable, consistent, good listener, detailed, careful, meticulous, and systematic and neat. So, being emotionally intelligent is the ability to recognize your own emotion, and once you practice that long enough or hard enough, you're able to recognize the emotions in other people. So I always have this this quote that I like to tell myself, but it's something that somebody told me one day, and it was like, once you reach a certain level of intellect, you get bored with just helping yourself. So how do you manifest that into the world? How do you help other people, right? But you have to be able to help yourself first. So once you're able to do that, then you're able to apply it on a larger scale and help the people around you. And it's up to each one of you to decide whether you want to do that or how you're going to do that. Me in particular, I like to share knowledge because, like I said before, knowledge is the key to prosperity and also how to get out of I don't like to call this area the hood, but you know, I live around here and I grew up around here and my mom came to the school as well. So how do you get out from the system that keeps our people kind of trapped, right? So whether that's financial literacy, emotional intelligence, or just leadership capabilities, when you're a leader, that applies to every job you go to, right? You might not just say it in your title, but being a leader allows you to rise in certain ways that just being a follower wouldn't let you do. And sometimes it's okay to follow, right? If you're following a good leader, but you also need to know how to lead yourself and if this person is leading you in the proper direction. So the 5 components of emotional intelligence at work. So self-awareness, the definition, the ability to recognize and understand your moods, emotions, and drives as well as their effect on others. Hallmark, self-confidence, realistic self-assessment. Self-regulation, definition, the ability to control or redirect disruptive impulses and moods. The propensity to suspend judgment, to think before acting. Trustworthiness, integrity, comfort with ambiguity, and openness to change. Motivation, a passion to work for reasons to go beyond money or status. A propensity to pursue goals with energy and persistence. A strong drive to achieve. Optimism, even in the face of failure and organizational commitment. Empathy, the ability to understand the emotional makeup of other people. Skill in treating people according to their emotional reactions. Hallmarks, expertise in building and retaining talent, cross-cultural sensitivity and service to clients and customers, and social skills. The proficiency in managing relationships and building networks, and the ability to find common ground and build rapport. Effectiveness, or the hallmarks, effectiveness in leading change, persuasiveness, and expertise in building and leading teams. And some of my favorite quotes. So, I don't know about any of you, but in my office, if you've ever been to my office, I have a whole bunch of quotes on the wall. Because sometimes I need to remind myself, right? Motivation at times is fleeting, but what isn't is self-discipline. So when you don't feel motivated, at least you'll still have the discipline to drive that motivation, right? When the fire feels like it's burning low, if you have discipline, you'll be okay. Because you know what needs to get done even when you don't feel like doing it, like going to the gym or eating your vegetables and all that good stuff. So leadership is not a license to do less. Leadership is a responsibility to do more. What does that mean? If you know the way or you're paving the way, show the people that are alongside you, right? Don't be selfish for what you know. Teach the people around you. I have this, it's on my wall, but it's our crest. And in the crest, there's a book. And I think the quote goes, enséñale al pueblo a pensar, o leer. And I'm pretty sure it's pensar. But what that means in English is show the village how to think. So, I don't know how much older I am than some of you, right? But what I try to do is, like, to a lot of the younger people, I try to teach them. And that's because I didn't always necessarily have the best teachers when I was growing up. And one of my best teachers was my experience in life and what allowed me to realize about myself and about the people around me. Treat the people around you well, and they'll treat you even better. Give them a reason to treat you good. You got to be respectful. But you got to respect yourself, because people will only respect you to the degree that you respect yourself. So leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. Leadership has nothing to do with your position in the organization. If you decide to look after the person to the left and to the right of you, you have become a leader. And it's amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit. And if you don't know who Simon Sinek is, he's a very, very, very good talk. A couple of TED Talks about why, like, for leadership and for motivational purposes. I recommend you look at. Great leaders don't need to act tough. Their confidence and humility serve to underscore their toughness. Leadership is absolutely about inspiring action, but it's also about guarding against misaction. A leader's job is not to do the work for others. It's to help others figure out how to do it themselves, to get things done and succeed beyond what they thought possible. Leadership is a way of thinking, a way of acting, and more importantly, a way of communicating. Great leaders are willing to sacrifice the numbers to save the people. Poor leaders are willing to sacrifice the people to save the numbers. So, these are some of my favorite quotes. I think my favorite one is, leadership is a way of thinking, a way of acting, and most importantly, a way of communicating. And the one above that, a leader's job is not to do the work for others, but it's to help others figure out how to do it for themselves and to get things done beyond what they thought imaginable. So a candle loses no flame by lighting another candle. So be a candle. Help the people around you. If you have already made it a little bit farther in life, don't be scared to help the person that's, might be struggling right next to you, to help them, right? Because they're gonna always remember that. I don't know what you believe in, like religious, karma, all that good stuff. When I do good things, I don't do it for what God is gonna give me or for karma. I do it because, hypothetically speaking, if there is no God, who's gonna help the people around you? Who's gonna help your family? Who's gonna help you if you don't help yourself? And if you help yourself and you have the capability to do so, help the people around you. Right? It's one of the things, like what Beyonce was saying, right? She wants to leave her footprint. Well, every person that you meet, you leave a footprint in their heart and in their mind, depending on what it is you do for them, right? So, this is an article that I was able to get.
Break. Lunch break.
Give me one.
Lunch break. Give me a break for lunch. You want to finish and then?
I won't take much more of your time. I'm about to be done after a couple of things. So, training leaders for success. I got this from trainingindustry.com, and training leaders for success, the mind of a leader. I quoted it properly too. I don't know if there's any English majors in here, but I did quote my work. By understanding how the mind works, you can lead yourself effectively. By understanding and leading yourself effectively, you can understand others and be able to lead them more effectively. And by understanding and leading others more effectively, you can understand and lead your organization more effectively. By more effectively, we mean in a way that taps into your and your people's intrinsic motivations and sense of purpose. Beyond this finding, we discovered 3 key mental qualities essential for great leadership: mindfulness, selflessness, and compassion. Mindfulness enables leaders to focus on the task at hand, enabling high productivity. Equally, it provides an ability to truly be present with people, clients, and stakeholders. Presence and leadership creates better connectedness and loyalty and enables selflessness and compassion. Selflessness is the opposite of ego-centeredness. A selfless leader is more concerned with the interests and needs of his or her people, organization, and society at large than with his or her own needs and desires. Selflessness increases engagement and creativity. Compassion enables leaders to focus on the well-being and happiness of their people and look for ways to benefit them while keeping the team and the organizational objectives in mind. People with compassionate leaders know that they are supported. As a result, trust and cohesion thrives. The great news is that mindfulness and selflessness and compassion are all trainable skills. Over the past 2 decades, neuroscientists have discovered that our brain is plastic, and not like actual plastic, I'm going to explain. So it changes throughout our life based on how we use it. Through neuroplasticity, we can train these mental qualities in the brain the same way we train any part of our body by going to the gym. So if you feel, right, like you weren't born a leader, that's okay. I felt like that at one point. But it's about what you create for yourself. What do you want for yourself, right? What do you envision? It's literally, it's like a painting. When you first start the painting, you're not sure how it's going to end up. You don't know how it's going to end. You're not even sure about all the colors you're going to use. But you do it, right? You have faith in yourself. Because nobody can judge you on what it is that you're trying to create for yourself. Nobody has that power, right? Not even a judge in like the Supreme Court. But if you feel content with how you feel about yourself and what you're able to create for yourself and how you're able to make people feel, then that's a very, very, very important power. Because when you let people decide how you're going to feel based on their judgments, it's a horrible thing. Nobody should ever have to live like that. So every time you look in the mirror, be proud of yourself, right? Be proud that even through all the struggles that you've had in your life, you were able to make it. You're here now, right? You're going to school, you're trying to get a higher quality education so that you can better your life and the people around you, whether that's your children, your family, etc. Community. Being mindful. When you are mindful, you are aware of the landscape of your mind from moment to moment. Mindfulness helps you to notice and regulate your behavior and emotions. It helps you to better understand the behavior, reactions, and emotions of the people you lead, and in turn, create better relations and lead for more impact. Research published in Nature's Neuroscience found that in a short, daily mindfulness practice causes changes in the structure and function of the brain, which enhances self-awareness. Be selfless. Leadership is not about you, but the people in the organization you lead. Let's read that one more time. So leadership is not about you, it is about the organization you lead and the people around you. With selflessness, you take yourself out of the equation and consider the long-term benefits of others. Selflessness does not mean you become a doormat for others and refuse to stand up for yourself. Rather, it comes out of self-confidence and self-care. Here's a simple way of evaluating whether you are selfless in your leadership. When you make a decision, check your motivation. Are you doing it for personal gain or for benefits of others? Be compassionate. Compassion is the intention to bring happiness to others. If you have ever had a compassionate leader, you know what it feels like. The person has your back and has your interests in mind. As a result, you feel safe, trusted, loyal, and committed. It is a universal language that is understood by anyone, anywhere. If you want to bring more compassion into your leadership, make a habit of asking one simple question. Whenever you engage with someone, how can I help this person have a better day? When it comes to leadership, nothing beats compassion. To be an effective leader, keep a leadership journal. So you don't have to do this, right? But I like to study really, really, really successful people, whether that's successful because of their monetary value, right? Billionaires, millionaires, or successful in their levels of power and influence. But every one of them has a journal. And what this little, it doesn't have to be a little journal, it can be a big journal, little journal. But what this little black book allows me to do is reflect on myself. Not only my day, but my own thoughts. Because a lot of the time, our brains are just running at like 100 all day, right? They're getting hit by homework, friends, wanting a social life, and all this other stuff, TV. So when you have time to just like kind of sit down and dissect your own mind. And what a more perfect way than, and it's cheap, right? Pencil doesn't cost that much, book doesn't cost that much, to articulate to yourself how you feel, right? To be able to dissect your emotions and refine your thoughts, right? Because when you write, it's like, it just flows naturally. You know how sometimes when you try to speak, it doesn't come out as well? Well, when you're just writing, it just flows. It feels beautiful. You're uncluttering your mind. You're uncluttering your heart. And then on top of that, you're allowing yourself to think, right? Unrestrictedly. Nobody's going to judge you. You just literally, what do you call that? You're being aware of your own thoughts. So, to be an effective leader, keep a leadership journal. Teddy Roosevelt did it. Harry Truman did it. Want to be an outstanding leader, keep a leadership journal. As part of my executive coaching work, one of my most effective tools, and I quote, my apologies, like I said, I quoted it at the bottom. But one of my most effective tools I recommend that powers up the coaching process is a leadership journal. The exercise of leadership is not unlike any sport you play. When you review your actions in the field, you learn what worked, what didn't, and adjust along the way. Leadership guru Peter Drucker said, follow effective action with quiet reflection. From the quiet reflection will come even more effective action. There are many benefits to reflection. The biggest benefit of keeping a leadership journal is to expand your self-awareness. Self-awareness of your strengths, your energizers, what challenges you, what can derail you, is a key driver of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, the ability to know and manage yourself and others, it's a key driver of success in leadership. Another key benefit of keeping a leadership journal is to manage stress. Workplace stress has a significant impact on our overall well-being. Journaling about stressful events can help you process them, release the negative emotions, and ultimately enable learning. Our physical and emotional well-being is a key driver of the energy we bring to the workplace. The more positive emotions and inspiration we feel as a leader, the greater the impact on our teams. A gratitude journal has been shown to have a significant positive impacts in maintaining a good immune system and wiring the brain for positive emotion. Effective leaders are able to see what's happening with a clear perspective. They're thus able to respond with greater agility to change. They lead effectively because they see effectively. By 3 methods, we may learn wisdom, and this is by Confucius. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is the easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. Remember what I said about experience sometimes. So, journaling. Scientific studies have shown it to be essentially a panacea. And I put the definition up there so I could feel dumb and you guys wouldn't go through the trouble of that. But it's a solution, a remedy for all difficulties or diseases. It's another reason why my journal is really good. When I don't know a word, I write it down and then I learn a new word. There are more obvious benefits like a boost in mindfulness, memory, and communication skills. But studies have also found that writing in a journal can lead to better sleep, a stronger immune system. Oh, and I got this from the New York Times, by the way, like I said, I quoted it. Stronger immune system, more self-confidence, and a higher IQ. Research out of New Zealand suggests that the practice may even help wounds heal faster. How is this possible? James W. Pennebaker, a social psychologist at the University of Texas at Austin, who was considered the pioneer of writing therapy, said there isn't one answer. It's a whole cascade of things that occur, he said. Labeling emotions and acknowledging traumatic events, both natural outcomes of journaling, have a known positive effect on people. Dr. Pennebaker said, and are often incorporated into the traditional talk therapies. At the same time, writing is fundamentally an organizational system. Keeping a journal, according to Dr. Pennebaker, helps to organize an event in our mind and make sense of trauma. When we do that, our working memory improves since our brains are freed from the enormously taxing job of processing that experience, and we sleep better. This in turn improves our immune system and our moods. We go to work feeling refreshed, better, and socialize more. There's no single magic moment, Dr. Pennebaker said, but we know it works. There's science behind this. So the last thing, my last slide is, what are SMART goals? everything that I was able to share with you, and hopefully you were able to absorb, is things that people showed me along my journey, not only in school but in life, on how to achieve success, right? When they were teaching me, they never said, oh, this is how you're going to be successful. They just kind of taught me a whole bunch of things, and they were just like, you know, apply this into your life and tell me how it works. And when I did, like when I was disciplined, and I would like to still think I'm disciplined, when I applied these things into my life, they provide structure on such a level that I wasn't able to have myself when I was a little bit younger, right? Like when we're in high school, sometimes we're kind of like just whatever. But when I came to college, it was like do or die time. Like I was like, you know, I need to succeed at this because there's no other way. I've seen already what everything else has to offer, and I don't want that. Like I want to succeed, but how do I succeed, right? Because some achievements in life can't be measured by an A grade or an F grade, right? It's how well you treat yourself or how well you treat your family or what you do for your family, right? Even if it's not anything of monetary wealth, but the way you treat them, the way you make them feel, right? Like, go to visit my grandpa like three or four blocks away from me. He's like 74 now. I don't get paid for that, right? But I feel great when I do that. And I know when I do that, and he feels great when he goes into the little senior citizens home, he feels good. And then he makes other people feel good. So it's contagious. It's a chain reaction. So I try to make people feel good. I like that too. So SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Make sure your goals are focused and identify a tangible outcome without the specifics. Your goal runs the risk of being too vague to achieve. Being more specific helps you identify what you want to achieve. You should also identify what resources you are going to leverage to achieve success. Measurable. You should have some clear definition of success. This will help you evaluate achievement and also progress. This component often answers how much or how many and highlights how you'll know when you achieve your goal. Attainable. Your goal should be challenging but still